Hi, thanks for checking in with this edition of our LongHaulPartner.com video blog series. This edition addresses natural gas fuel for truck engines, and it's entitled Natural Gas for Class 8 Trucks, Blessing or Bane. Just so you know, the complete written transcript of this video is available online at LongHaulPartner.com. And it's listed under the trucking business category, so you don't have to keep track of anything. You can just go get the written version whenever you want, download it online, take a look at it. Now, if you're considering investing in natural gas for Class 8 truck engines, it's a great idea, but buyer beware. Solutions to the high cost of diesel fuel are always in demand. Natural gas truck engine technology has been a potential solution for rising fuel costs. It's been around a long time, and it's taken seriously whenever those fuel costs spike or the economy urges an aggressive reconsideration of cost reduction options. And of course, especially for the big fleets, cost reduction is kind of a byword. Now, I'm 100% in favor of new ideas and out-of-the-box thinking. I'm a green guy, though I frankly believe global warming is a pathetic hoax. There hasn't been any real global warming for 16 years now. Sadly, it's costing many countries untold billions in added cost to solve a problem that exists only in Al Gore's mind, with the swindle landing handily in the bank accounts of Al and friends. I'm so green that, in fact, myself and a partner have applied for a U.S. patent. That was back in May of 2009. Our patent was issued last February, a year ago now. And it's U.S. patent number 8381523, B as in boy 2. It's called Geothermal Electricity Production Methods and Geothermal Energy Collection Systems. I worked on this idea on and off for more than 15 years. I raised the patent point simply to document my own familiarity with energy issues, at least in the United States. Natural gas-powered engines are likely to be a fairly good long-term addition to the trucking arsenal, particularly, I think, for local pickup and delivery and LTL applications. But I suspect it'll never become dominant from a competitive standpoint for OTR, at least not anytime soon. Why would I think that? That sounds kind of negative, doesn't it? Well, the first obvious obstruction is the lack of existing infrastructure to safely distribute and dispense natural gas as a fuel to trucks. Creating this infrastructure is expensive, and there are very few trucks at the present time to buy the fuel. There's never going to be many trucks to fuel with natural gas until the distribution infrastructure exists and the fuel is nationally available. So we have an investment catch-22 resulting in the question, if we build it, will they come? The second obstacle is a little more complicated and not so obvious. North America in general, and the United States specifically, possess one of the largest natural gas reserves in the world. The U.S. is one of the world's largest natural gas producers. You probably know that. That's why all the attention is paid to it. At the same time, federal regulations have prohibited the export of natural gas. No permits for the export of natural gas from the United States have ever been issued, until just recently. Cheniere Energy, down in Louisiana, has been issued the only natural gas export permit in the continental United States. Now, Cheniere Energy has operated an import facility for liquefied natural gas, LNG, on the Gulf Coast for some number of years. Cheniere is presently reverse engineering that facility in Louisiana to begin operating as an export facility and expects to be up and running, exporting sometime in 2015. Now, there's approximately 15 additional LNG export permit applications currently tied up in federal government bureaucracy until such time as the final terms of the monopolized graft and corruption can be worked out. Sorry to be cynical. Probably true, though. Exxon, and anybody who's anybody really in big energy, has an LNG export application for permitting in the federal permitting chute. It's my understanding that San Diego-based Sempra Energy and ExxonMobil already have Gulf Coast LNG export facilities under construction, which supposes they are expecting to receive export permits in the not-too-distant future. Now, let's digress just a little bit. Natural gas is normally cooled to a temperature of minus 160 to minus 250 degrees Celsius to liquefy it. This reduces the volume of the gas by approximately 600 times, making it easier to ship as a liquid, hence LNG, liquefied natural gas. Design and construction costs for an export facility able to economically handle LNG run from a minimum of about $7 billion to a reported $10 billion for Cheniere's Newport facility in Louisiana. These kind of development costs will keep the riffraff out of the LNG export market, and because of that, some folks predict that due to these costs, LNG exports will never reach predicted levels. Therefore, will never significantly drive up domestic natural gas prices. Your guess is as good as mine on this one. I don't go to the meetings, so I don't know how realistic 2015 is in terms of Cheniere Energy beginning its LNG export applications. That's only a year away. This is 2014 now. I also don't know how far behind Sempra, Exxon, and others might be in their permitting process. What we do know is that the United States is apparently poised to become an exporter of natural gas. We can surmise that if this happens, domestic natural gas prices may be impacted, probably upwards. We all know natural gas is inexpensive in the United States, frequently less expensive than electricity. We heat our houses with it, our businesses, we cook with it. The low cost is a direct consequence, in my opinion, of supply and demand. The U.S. produces large amounts of natural gas, can't export any of it, and the end result is a natural gas glut in the domestic marketplace. U.S. prices for natural gas are significantly lower than most other places in the world. 2013 natural gas prices in the U.S. are averaging about $3.30 per thousand cubic feet versus nearly $11 in Europe and $15 per thousand cubic feet in Asia. Now, this is in part because Asian and European natural gas prices are indexed to oil, though experts predict this is probably going to change over the next few years. Now, I suspect that shortly, after U.S. energy companies begin exporting LNG, the United States is going to quickly become a competitive exporter of LNG in world markets. This will likely result in domestic natural gas prices rising in the near term until they can stabilize in the global marketplace. Now, I don't have any idea what this price might be, but I imagine it's going to be significantly above where domestic natural gas prices are today. Let's say somewhere between the $3.30 today and the $11 they're experiencing in Europe. On a more positive note, it should also be noted that hydraulic fracturing technology, slow to take hold in Europe, is beginning to catch on, and this may contribute to increased European production and lower prices over time. This would tend to decrease the European demand for U.S.-produced natural gas, acting as a brake on rising prices through decreased global demand for the U.S.-generated product. Now, it's my understanding that most of the large truck manufacturers are investing substantial R&D dollars in natural gas engines. You can read about it in Overdrive magazine every couple of months. There's something. According to the Ready for Primetime article by Jack Roberts in last year's July issue of Overdrive magazine, these would include Freightliner, Kenworth, Mack, Navistar, Peterbilt, and Volvo. Kenworth and Peterbilt, of course, are Packer. Now, I hope that Cummins and others continue developing natural gas engine technology, and I hope that carriers will consider adapting to it for appropriate applications when it's cost effective to do so. However, if you're a large or small carrier and you're modeling future financial outcomes, particularly for over-the-road applications, care should be taken in projecting future operating costs using natural gas at today's domestic market prices. I would recommend a more cautious approach, and that would be to take a look at international pricing levels relative to the US dollar and input those values into your projections. If your financial performance still make economic sense as compared to, say, diesel fuel, home run. If not, keep a careful eye on what's happening in the natural gas industry to determine whether or not my prediction of rising prices for natural gas in the future are on the money, or if I'm just full of hot air. Just saying. Hey, thanks so much for tuning in today.